And 3, 2, 1, and we are live! Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another 30 Days of Thought with my good buddy, Paul Lucido, and myself, Andrew Berman, where we do a deep dive into Jay Doran's 30 Days of Thought. It's a book that's designed to get you, the reader, to read, write notes about what you just read, and then record a video. It just kind of actually helps you become comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's why Paul and I started doing this. Today we're going to be covering life lessons. Paul's going to kick it off, but I'm going to quickly just read the abstract, which I don't feel like the abstract really says what the section's about, but I'll read it anyway. The opposite of what we know is also true. Life lesson.
Am I up?
Yep. Kick it off. That's it. It's a short, and I don't even think it really says what exactly it is, but actually, you know something? I want to. You go. I will say this actually in my section is something I want to actually quote actually the lion story. So you go. Kick it off.
So no, actually, well, first of all, good afternoon to you, Andrew. I know it's afternoon. It's morning for me. I'm here at Paramount Residential Mortgage Group where we're doing our little live broadcast from. And it's always good to see you. You look very dapper, I might add, with your attire.
Relax today. Get stuff around the house.
Paramount shirt. I'm just trying to be chill as this.
It's a new shirt. I've never seen that
on our PMG store. So I have two of these. I really like them. They look good like with a blazer. And I got my other PMG shirt, which is more of the cursive, almost it almost has a sports kind of theme, vintage theme. So look, let's just get into this. So this one is kind of interesting, and I think it's going to provide some good dialogue. Essentially what Jay is saying here, the opposite of what we know is also true. So this is speaking to people looking at life through different lenses, that we all are kind of like the author of our own story. We are the director of our own movie. And in theory, everybody else in our lives, based on this particular reading, is kind of like a background character in our movie, so to speak, or in our story. And part of that is we're viewing life through our lens. You have to have respect that other people are viewing their lives through their lens. And they have their truths as we have our truths. And one of the things that this whole particular subject is speaking to is really being in discord with one another. Almost to the point of where, when we're like on social media, we'll use that as an example, a case in point, where there are some people classify as the haters. And sometimes when you look at somebody as a hater, and a hater could literally be somebody that's, a vehement hater, just a internet troll that's just going out there and saying some really, really vehement things, some vile things that are in discord with something that you might think or say. Then there's also just people that generally are of a different opinion. And we have to have some general respect for that. And what we need to do, rather than fuel the fire and promote the cancer growth, what you want to do is you want to neutralize it, and you need to embrace it. And you need to understand where the other person is coming from. That's what promotes good debate, for example. I mean, when you look up the word discourse, one of the underpinnings of discourse is it speaks to debate. It doesn't mean that it has to be hostile. It just means that you need to be open to other people's opinions. And right now, as we've all talked, Andrew, you look at YouTube, being like the #2 search engine. Everybody's out there, as I've said in the past, living on video, getting their 15 minutes of fame in 60 seconds or less. Everybody has an opinion. Part of having an opinion, and especially if you're going to put it outwardly on the airwaves, you need to have some fiduciary responsibility of what you're talking about, and so at least some good general understanding of it. And that works on both sides of the fence here. So when somebody's in discord with you, which I could appreciate, hopefully they have some backup behind that. They have information that could back that, or maybe it's just an interesting point of view, because at the end of the day, not everything is going to be conciliatory. We're not always going to be in complete agreement. And that's what makes the world interesting. That's what makes conversation interesting. That's what breeds good dialogue and in-depth contemplation, if you will. So I would say if we can kind of start from this point and talk about that, and let's talk about the internet. Let's talk about some of the stuff that's out there, and how does that affect you, my good man? How do you feel about it?
So I mean, do you think actually? I feel like actually we've come to a place where we're not doing that anymore. Like we're kind of siloing ourselves with people that have same opinions, and then so when someone comes actually from and has a different opinion, it's always confrontational. So if you are a Trump supporter, you cannot actually listen to anything that's Biden related, that's positive. If you're a Biden supporter, you can't really listen to anything that's Trump related, that's positive. Like you're shutting everyone's shutting themselves off. And it's either like there's no meh button. There's like it or hate it, like that. And I think actually we're coming to a place actually where it's causing us actually to create wars. Where you see people that listen. I'm in New York. If people actually are shocked and mortified when they see Trump supporters in New York. I mean, it's disgusting. It really is. And I'm going to imagine it's probably going to be the same thing if you're in Texas and you go around actually waving your Biden flag. It's going to be that's not good. That's not good. If you used to be, you had respect for other people's opinions. You have respect actually for other people's thoughts. Because listen, we're raised to believe a certain way. Listen, I mean, religion actually for the most part, we all respect each other's religion, and we know like we can't all be right. Like someone's wrong. I don't know if being Jewish, am I wrong? Do I have some of it right? Do the Christians have it right? Who knows? Listen,
look,
was never as good as the original, but
all right. So look, we'll go back and forth with this a little bit. You bring up some really good points, and interestingly enough, you picked on the obvious hot topics right now, and that's fine. Politics is a good way to start it. I don't want to get into the politics thing because it's so polarized right now. And to speak to your point, I feel like where you might be going here is we're living in, we're breeding. Literally, we are doing it. It is people that contribute to this. Kind of what's been classified as a cancel culture, a cancel culture.
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't get those words out. It's even hard for me to say that. The reality of it is that that's kind of a shame, because good universities, philosophy, reading, all these things are designed to expand your mind and open your mind up to many different possibilities, and to have a good understanding across all channels and all different types of thoughts, whether religious or otherwise. A good example of that, and I'll use this forum to talk about a little bit, is science and religion, or science and spirituality. And spirituality is a very broad term. It means different things to different people. Science measures everything in the physical world, and we know that based on the laws of physics. And religion and God, for example, just using this loosely, is outside of that sphere. It's outside of the laws of nature. It's outside of the laws of physics. It's something outside of that, and you cannot use science to prove or disprove it, just like you can't use religion to prove or disprove religion as well. They're different from one another. And so, but if you're like me, this is just, I'm speaking for myself, and I'm sure there'll be people that may not agree with me. I like studying both. I find it interesting to have an understanding of both sides of the fence and how the two can kind of find a place somewhere in the middle to have an understanding. I'm the same way when it comes to political views as well. You could either go right or left, and you can stick your flag in the ground and basically say, I don't care if even what they're saying on the left makes sense to me. I'm not going that route because I'm for the right and I stand for the right. And the same applies for the left. What you really should do, I would think a logical person does, is they read through all the policy, they read through all the propositions, and they vote based on that. Does this speak to me? Does this resonate with me? Take the colors out of it for a minute. Take red and blue out, and let's just look at what they're talking about. A lot of people struggle to do that. I know people in my life on both sides of the fence, okay, that can't even look at the other person. They can't even have an intelligent conversation. And I'm going to tell you that
horrible.
That is in discord with me. I struggle with that. I am not such an extremist where it's my way or the highway. I try to come from a place. That's why I enjoy doing these readings with you. That's why, both of us, we like to read. We like to expand ourselves a little bit because it helps broaden you. I was on a call real quick with Sue Woodard the other day and Frank Garay, and one of the things we were talking about was just, knowledge, right? And the fact that the more you learn in theory, the more you realize you don't know anything, right? Because the world is always evolving and changing. We use that motto here at PRMG, progress is not possible without change. You've heard me say it 1,000 times, change is neither good or bad, it just is. So the idea is, can you really be open-minded, not compromising your principles, not compromising your values, not being a lesser version of yourself? Can you stop and do what Jay is trying to teach us to do, and that is listen, and listen to what is unsaid, and understand it, not fuel it, but embrace it, and hopefully grow from it. That's essentially what I am getting from this short paragraph that Jay wrote. So I'm going to let you listen. I've talked enough. I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Yep. So listen. I mean, I think it's about that. It's about embracing the haters, and having the dialogue with them. I think that's so. Rather than the cancel culture, just understanding why actually why do people come from that place, why, and because listen, they've been indoctrinated with certain things and they have some information I might share. You don't know actually if you're 100%, you don't know you're wrong until you know you're wrong. So it is actually, and if nothing, you're showing someone the respect and building a rapport and appreciation for their opinion and for what they've learned, and what they've been indoctrinated with, and maybe actually it might not impact your opinion, but the fact actually that you're having that conversation is respect to them, to to relationships and to just society.
Well, I think you're right, and I think that and again, we can't speak for other people. Everybody's got their opinion, and let me tell you something. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. 100% agree with that. And I also think that we have to be careful when we think our opinions have become fact. That's where it starts to get a little bit scary, because we're all entitled to interpret. That's part of life. Somebody could tell you something and you could listen to it and go, and then that same topic could be talked about from another person, and you might get a slightly different perspective and even walk away with a different point of view as a result of that discussion. That's what makes discussion so interesting, is because you really, as you get more and more feedback from people, you start to expand and realize that, wow, maybe I need to start thinking a little bit about this before I'm so quick to jump over here. I would like to think that most people are reasonable, but there's an old saying, you can't reason with unreasonable. And I'm going to tell you, and I don't mean for this to sound arrogant, but I do see a lot of posts on Facebook, primarily, and lately even on LinkedIn, and people are so quick to take a position. They're just looking to build an alliance. They're either looking to get people to agree with them, or they're looking to throw fuel just to ignite a conversation because they want to get a lot of feedback on that. Because good, bad, or otherwise, it's engagement, and any press is good press. You'll learn, obviously, you know that being a pressman yourself, you know that dirty laundry seems to go a lot quicker, flows across the airwaves a lot faster than talking about things that are good things and nice things. It's kind of like nobody wants to talk about the greater good anymore. All people want to do is sling mud and talk and just talk, talk crap. And, I always say this, do your homework. Right now there's I call it the University of YouTube out there. If you wield YouTube in the right way, there's a lot of good, healthy, intelligent discussions that are going on out there. You don't have to agree with them all, but they're good to listen to and to understand. And maybe once in a while you got to be kicked off your high horse a little bit and be humbled and understand that there are other people out there, and educated people, not to mention, that have done their homework. And so I just think that would be better if we could all learn that way. I would think, again, it's just an opinion, not factual, but to just sit there and just, talk and rant, and all the rhetoric and that you hear and the rancor that you hear out there, nobody's going to get anywhere with that. And to me, I feel like a part of me wants to say, grow the hell up, okay? Grow up. Be an adult, and let's do this in a civil way. But unfortunately, that doesn't represent everyone. So, again, Jay Doran, your point where we have to embrace that is, even though it's like oil and water, right, Andrew? It's kind of like oil and water, I would think. The idea that, how could you even want to listen to that? What's the old say? Talk to the hand, the face doesn't want to hear it. Well, we got to get past that. So, I'm curious. Any feedback on that? Do you agree? You disagree? What are your thoughts there?
No, listen. I think what comes down to, and this is kind of the theme of a lot of actually what we found in the book, is embracing your haters, embracing actually the different opinions, different socks. All the other sections has a lot of that theme of not talk to the hand, and just doing what you can actually to understand actually other people, and let's just get along. Listen, you might like steak, I might be a vegan. You might be Christian, I might be Jewish. It doesn't mean we can't be best friends. I mean, there's nothing actually that stops us actually from appreciating each other, and really actually having a true fondness of each other, just because we're so different. And I think that's what I think we're forgetting. Something, Odd Couple would not happen today. The show Odd Couple, that would not happen today.
And Jack,
exactly.
It's interesting where you're going, and I think for our listeners, all two of them, which is you and me.
No, my mom's watching this.
Yeah, well, hi, Mom. What I wanted to make a point. I listen to a lot of these physicists, as you already know. There's one in particular that I really gravitate to, because I just like the way he puts things, he shapes things, he makes them very palatable for the armchair observer, if you will. And that would be Alan Lightman. Now, Alan Lightman, to some people would be viewed, well, he's kind of an agnostic. Some people call him a spiritual atheist. I don't care what he is in that sense. He really looks at all of it. Okay, he looks at the whole big picture, and he's really bright. And we're talking about an MIT professor. But one of the things I love about Alan Lightman, and I'm using him in this particular discussion, is he embraces humanities, and I like that. For a scientist to actually reach across to humanities, and to claim to be a spiritual person. He's had some transcendent experiences, as he's called it, and he's about 71 now, I think he is. That reminds me of Jay. Jay really is speaking to the humanities. 30 Days of Thought is all about developing a culture. It's about digging deep within yourself. This is not a religious book or anything like that by any stretch. This is an amalgam of thoughts over a period of time and a broad interest. We're talking about a young philosophical individual who has really dug deep through his own pain that he's been through, and he's put some great writings together, which his editor, Jenna, who, by the way, congratulations to the two of them. I believe they're going to tie the knot. So awesome. I'm so happy for them. Very happy for both of them.
It's a cultural merger. I love it.
It's a power couple. They're already a power couple. But the way they wrote this, the way they edited it, it really makes it easy to understand. And what's great is it applies across anything in your life. That's why Andrew and I read this book, and we've been powering through it. We've done about, I want to say 36 episodes, maybe 37 episodes, somewhere therein. And so I think that's the tone of what we're saying. What Andrew and I are doing is what I would like to think that a lot of people can do. Now, we, Andrew, tend to be more agreeable. I think what would make for more interesting conversation for a lot of people is if you and I were, going at each other's throats like we were on Crossfire back in the day with William Buckley and a few others, when you had creationists going against Darwinian, okay? And they're going at it like this. And I remember the moderator at the very end, he just looked at everybody, had his little round glasses, he took them off, he says, well, I'm certainly glad that's been resolved. Because nothing got resolved. Okay? At the end of the day, you're going to have differences of opinion, but both sides merit, something. They both bring something to the table that makes you walk away and scratch your head and go, that's interesting. Maybe I need to go back and rethink this. So anyway, said a lot. That's kind of my perspective from reading this particular chapter.
Great insights. Love it. Really. Listen, I one of the things that, so I have actually an understanding of the chapter. One of the things actually, by you going first, you helped me, kind of wade through some of my thoughts. And I love that. And so I'm part of it actually, of you going first is because first off, you actually are a great analyst of actually, of the content. Probably from that engineering background, or you're an engineering background because you're a great analyst of whatever it is. But it helps me. It really does. And I appreciate actually you always taking the lead on that. Do we know what we're going to do for the next our next read? I know we're saying we were going to go section by section. Next one we did labels limit already, right?
We did. No, we did not do that.
We didn't do that?
No, we have not.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take my highlighter. I'm taking my highlighter right now, and I'm gonna line off life lessons, which is one of the first actual readings. I would like to say something to you, Andrew, and I think it's important for our listeners to understand. Andrew is always so kind to me, and I want you guys to understand I am just a lay person here who's just an enthusiast when it comes to reading and certain things that I like to do. I'm just that way. I kind of contributed to possibly my OCD that I obsess over things and I kind of dig in. Andrew, I want you to know that from my perspective, I feel like we glean off each other. I learn a lot from you. A lot of times now, and once we post this, I'll probably on my way home tonight from Pure and G will listen to this, and I love to do that because I hear things sometimes that I miss. And, while I'm trying to actively listen, as we both are, we're kind of in the heat of it, right? And you bring a lot to the table, my good man. We just have different styles, that's all. But please do not in any way sell yourself short. I think I've seen a lot of growth. When I go to the earlier episodes and I start to watch and listen to these, I could see how both of us have moved forward a little bit. That's just part of growth, part of the evolution. I heard a rumor that Jay's writing another book. I'm very anxious to find out what that's all about. So anyway, so are we doing labels limit?
Yeah. I love this. Like labels limit is something that like because I have that video. Like I recorded my own video of that, and I love that. Like that is fire. So just I'll read the abstract.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give everyone a tease for this is. But okay, our boundless energy may be funneled through our self, and our self needs no label. It just is. Labels limit.
Okay, very good. And another thing I'd like to do a quick plug or a quick reminder. Andrew and I have committed ourselves this weekend on Sunday. I'll be probably doing this from home, and Andrew as well. We are going to try to tackle the documentary Social Dilemma. I would encourage anybody listening to watch it. I'm going to rewatch it so I could make sure I'm on my game. But I've got some opinions about that. That was kind of eye-opening. I'm sure it's a bit sensationalized for just the pure, make it compelling. But it was very interesting, and I've got a lot to say about that one. So that one we're going to do at what time on Sunday?
Hold on for a second. Give me a second. Let's see. We have it down for Sunday the 18th, and I have so 12:30 East Coast time. So I believe that's what's that? 9:30 your time.
9:30 Pacific Standard Time for those of you on the West Coast. Listen, this one's going to be good. It is really an interesting subject and very eye-opening. So if you haven't watched the documentary, Social Dilemma, it's relevant. It's relevant to what's going on right now. I've got a lot I want to talk about that. It'll be interesting to see what your take is as well. So, but that should be pretty fun. So that'll be this weekend. All right, brother. That's all right.
Later, Paul. I'm going to take us out here. Everyone, have a great weekend, and maybe we'll see you on Sunday.
That's good.